In a small, quiet town, there was an old Victorian house that stood at the end of the street. It had a reputation for being haunted, but the most chilling tale revolved around a single object within its walls: a haunted doll. The doll, known as Emily, was a relic from the past. With porcelain skin, soulless eyes, and a delicately stitched dress, she appeared innocent at first glance, but those who dared to cross paths with her knew better. The doll had a sinister presence that seemed to permeate the air whenever she was near. People claimed they could hear her soft laughter echoing through the hallways late at night, even when no one was there. Some swore they caught glimpses of her moving on her own, her lifeless eyes following their every move. The house itself had a long history of tragedy. Legend had it that Emily had been the treasured possession of a young girl who tragically died in the house many years ago. It was said that her spirit had become trapped inside the doll, forever seeking companionship in the living world. One fateful night, a family moved into the old Victorian house, unaware of its haunted past. They discovered Emily in the attic, hidden away among a collection of forgotten toys. Intrigued by her beauty, they decided to bring her down to the living room as a decorative piece. From that moment on, strange occurrences plagued the family. Objects would mysteriously move, doors would slam shut, and the sound of childish laughter would fill the air. The family's youngest daughter, Lily, became particularly attached to Emily. She would spend hours talking to the doll, sharing secrets and laughter. But as time passed, Lily's behavior began to change. She became withdrawn, her once vibrant personality replaced by a haunting emptiness. Her parents grew concerned, realizing that their daughter was losing herself to the influence of the haunted doll. Late one night, Lily's parents decided to confront the doll's dark presence. They ventured into the attic, determined to rid their home of Emily's malevolent spirit once and for all. Armed with sage and holy water, they performed a ritual to cleanse the house, but their efforts only seemed to anger the doll. As they finished the ritual, a chilling wind swept through the attic, blowing out all the candles. The darkness engulfed them, and they heard Lily's voice, distorted and filled with malice, whispering from the shadows. In a desperate attempt to save their daughter, they snatched the doll from Lily's hands and threw it into the fireplace. Flames consumed Emily, and a blood-curdling scream filled the room. The family huddled together, praying for it to end. When the flames died down, they found themselves alone in the attic. Lily, seemingly freed from the doll's influence, returned to her normal self, but the memory of their encounter with the haunted doll would forever haunt their dreams. The Victorian house remained silent and empty, the spirit of Emily vanquished, but to this day, the legend of the haunted doll serves as a chilling reminder that not all toys are meant to be played with, and that some objects carry a darkness that can never truly be extinguished. Deep within the renowned art gallery of a bustling city, there hung a painting that held a sinister secret. The painting, simply titled "The Forgotten," depicted a desolate landscape shrouded in darkness. Its colors were muted, its brushstrokes heavy with foreboding. The artist behind the piece was a mysterious figure known as Victor Hartmann. Rumors circulated about his eccentricities and his obsession with capturing the true essence of despair. It was said that he poured his own anguish and torment into every stroke of his brush. The Forgotten had a mesmerizing effect on those who dared to gaze upon it. Some claimed they could hear faint whispers emanating from the painting, as if the trapped souls within were desperately trying to communicate. Others felt an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the eyes of the figures in the painting followed their every move. As the gallery's curator, Amelia, spent countless hours surrounded by the artwork, she couldn't shake the feeling that the Forgotten held a dark power. Late at night, when all the visitors had gone, she would find herself drawn to the painting, unable to resist its pull. One evening, as Amelia stood before the painting, she noticed something peculiar. The figures within the canvas seemed to shift ever so slightly, their expressions contorted into grimaces, their eyes filled with anguish. She blinked, thinking it was a trick of the light, but the unsettling transformation persisted. Fear gripped Amelia's heart, but she couldn't tear her eyes away. The whispers grew louder, forming words that echoed within her mind. They spoke of lost souls, trapped within the painting, yearning for release. It was as if the artwork itself was alive, a portal to a realm of darkness and despair. As days turned into weeks, Amelia's obsession with the painting intensified. She neglected her duties, spending every waking moment in its presence, studying its every detail. The line between reality and the painting's twisted world began to blur, and Amelia could no longer distinguish between the two. One moonlit night, driven to madness by the painting's malevolent influence, Amelia made a fateful decision. She reached out, her trembling hand touching the canvas. In that instant, she was pulled into the painting's abyss, becoming one with its nightmarish realm. The next morning, the gallery staff discovered Amelia's lifeless body before the Forgotten, her expression frozen in terror. Her eyes mirrored the anguish of the painting's figures. The once prominent curator had become another victim of the sinister power that emanated from the artwork. The Forgotten was promptly removed from the gallery, its dark presence deemed too dangerous to be displayed. It was locked away, hidden from prying eyes in the depths of the gallery's storage vaults. But whispers persisted, tales of a cursed painting that held the souls of the tormented, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to set them free. To this day, the legend of the Forgotten lives on, a cautionary tale for those who dare to delve too deeply into the realm of art and the dark forces that can lurk within. In the quaint town of Hollowbrook, nestled deep within the misty woods, stood an old manor that had long been abandoned. Locals spoke of chilling tales surrounding the place, warning others to stay away. Legend had it that the manor was cursed, haunted by the spirits of its former inhabitants. One stormy night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to test their courage and explore the infamous Hollowbrook Manor. They were eager to uncover the truth behind the haunting rumors that had plagued their town for generations. As they approached the decaying manor, the wind howled and the dark, ominous clouds loomed overhead. The creaking door swung open on its own as if beckoning them inside. Their hearts raced, but curiosity got the better of them, and they stepped hesitantly into the eerie entrance hall. The air was thick with a musty scent as they ventured deeper into the manor, their footsteps echoing through the empty corridors. Strange whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, sending chills down their spines. The temperature dropped dramatically and their breath turned to mist before their eyes. In a room adorned with faded portraits, a sudden gust of wind blew out their lanterns, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled through the blackness, struggling to find their way. Whispers grew louder, and a soft, eerie laughter echoed in the distance. One by one, the teenagers disappeared, swallowed by the malevolent force that lurked within the manor. The remaining few huddled together, trembling with fear. Shadows danced on the walls as they desperately searched for an escape. Suddenly, a flickering candle illuminated a hidden passage. With no other option, they followed the dim light, hoping it would lead them to safety. The passage twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the bowels of the manor. As they reached the underground chamber, they were met with a horrifying sight. The restless spirits of the manor's former residents emerged from the shadows. Their eyes hollow and filled with malice, they moved closer, their ethereal forms floating above the ground. The teenagers screamed in terror, their voices drowned out by the cacophony of tortured souls. The spirits reached out with spectral hands, their touch icy cold. The remaining survivors closed their eyes, bracing for the inevitable. But just as the spirits were about to claim their final victims, a blinding light filled the chamber. A figure emerged from the brilliance, radiating an otherworldly aura. It was an old woman, the last descendant of the manor's original owners, with a voice filled with sadness and regret. She begged the spirits to release their hold on the living. Moved by her plea, the spirits reluctantly retreated into the darkness, their anguished cries fading away. The old woman explained that her ancestors had performed unspeakable acts within the manor, invoking a curse that bound their souls to the place for eternity. She had spent her life seeking a way to break the curse, and her arrival coincided with the teenagers' ill-fated exploration. As the dawn broke, the manor stood silent and still. The curse finally lifted. The old woman bid farewell to the survivors and vanished, her duty fulfilled. From that day forward, Hollowbrook Manor remained abandoned, a testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. The townspeople spoke of the courageous teenagers who had faced the malevolent spirits and survived, their story forever etched in the annals of Hollowbrook's haunted history.